All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. End of day webinar. It is Tuesday, May 2nd, 2017. I have two trades to cover for you guys today, both on AUPH. It was actually kind of a slow morning to start. I had a few ideas. One of the main ones I was looking at was CCCR. I noticed a signal in here. I was trying to get short just under 75 back here. Just under 85 actually. It was going to be 84 risk 95 was the idea. And I missed the fill and decided to let that one go. And although it did fade a little bit there, that was the first trade I was going after. And after that, it just kind of sort of flatlined all day and then managed to grind its way back. And, you know, this stock has really just lost its liquidity. And at this point, I'm starting to lose interest in it. So I'm probably going to move on from that tomorrow. But it was a nice little idea. Just didn't pan out to get me the fill, so I let that one go. First trade ended up being AUPH. I actually recorded the trade in case you guys want to go back and watch it over and hear some of the commentary again. Like I always say, you know, hearing the commentary in real time when you're involved in the trade is one thing. There's emotions and you're trying to manage your trade, but then it might help to just go back, be able to watch the trade again, and you know, study a little bit of what's going on, maybe in level 2 and in the tape if you want, or you know, anything that you can do to sort of help yourself better understand the ideas and the thought process that goes into some of the trade ideas. Okay, so again, no trades this morning for the first hour. So I patiently just waited for a setup. Ended up being on AUPH. So I started noticing this one and mentioning it during this little consolidation period over 767. So first thing you'll notice is the stock. Now, the first thing I was mentioning this morning actually was the daily chart. We know that the 745 area was a big spot, same as last time. You know, the exact same time we traded this, I think it was a week or two ago, I was watching 745 on the daily. So that's the main thing we're watching, was for the stock to get over and hold over this major daily chart area. So today it actually did pop over it, and then it came down, dipped, and actually held 55. So it held down here intraday, 755, and then it popped up, and I started watching it closely as it started to consolidate just over, you know, 770. So I was mentioning that I was looking for a dip buy. So once it came and tested twice and started to hold 67, I was looking for a dip buy. I was hoping for a 66 or 67 fill, and it didn't end up dipping. So what I ended up doing, guys, was taking the offer. So I took a long through 71. And if you watch back over the video I made, you'll notice that there was a big offer at 71. Sellers were hitting 70, but it kept soaking up the sells. So I believe there was a hidden buyer at 70, or at least someone that kept reloading their buys, showing that there was some strength there. And there's a few reasons why I took the trade. One is because the stock kind of faked out like it was going to be weak for the day, because it popped up, put a lower high, and then it kind of rolled over red. So I think people might have started shorting it early, anticipating this was going to fail today. So when it pops up and then it starts to hold and absorb a lot of the sell pressure, and you know, it's looking like a spot where we can get, you know, long 71 or 70 and only be risking maybe 4 or 5 cents, which is, you know, essentially like every trade we take. This is the kind of trade I want to be involved in, right? So we ended up smacking the offer at 71 to get long. My stop was going to be 67 max, so if it broke 67 I'd be out. So on a 4-cent risk trade, this actually ended up working pretty good. The stock hit a high of 798, and I journaled my trade like I do every trade on this one. The journal entry looks something like this. So except the last exit I took was 785. So yeah, 778 on the first quarter, 782. 788, and man, I was really tempted just to sell the rest up here. I was gonna watch to see if we got a higher low, then sell it through 8. Once it put in the lower high, once it tried twice there, put in kind of a bearish signal right here, so I decided to hop out just under 88, and I got filled at around 85 on average. So that's 785 finish. But overall, a really nice liquid play. A lot of, you know, consolidation, a good amount of time for us to explain the trade idea, get everyone comfortable and familiar with the trade idea, and you know, be able to get everyone involved in it. You know, there's no real chasing involved or, you know, low float. or anything like that. It's just a very nice liquid play. Everyone's able to get involved and take advantage of that play. So I was really happy with that for my first trade today, and that was AUPH. What I wanted to show you guys is what happened after I got out. Right, so the stock made a huge reversal, massive. Funny thing is, as you guys know from chat, a couple of good traders that we have with us, Penny Trader, he was talking to Zach about shorting the stock, and he said just wait for Jeff to sell and then we'll short it. So as soon as I sold it, they turned around and shorted it, and they banked huge on the short side. And then on top of them making that big short trade, I did something that I typically don't do very often, but I had a really good feeling about it, which brings me to my second trade today, which was AUPH long at 7.13, which just maybe out of luck, it was 1 cent off lows. I was giving it room to go to 0.5, so I was using an 8-cent risk on this idea, but we had this huge, just snowball effect of sellers on this one. And it had a bounce, and then it kind of started coming in weak again, and I started sort of looking at some other time frames. And guys, I really don't typically try to pick bottoms. It's really not part of my playbook, but I just had a good feeling that based on the size of this panic and this move, I was able to kind of go back, and I was just looking at some key levels, looking at the 15-minute chart, and although it's not super obvious, if you put a line at 710, it just seemed to be kind of a spot. There was some support here, resistance here. It just seemed like a spot that could make for a nice potential bounce. You can see back here, it was resistance, and then it just sort of became support again. So it seems like a logical place for there to be a bit of a bounce. Let's go to the hourly chart, right? So it's not super obvious on the hourly chart, but it just seemed like, when I was going through the chart, I was like, this seems like actually a really good place for a potential, decent risk reward scenario where if we can scoop it in, and I went smaller on this one, obviously, but overall it was nice. I was thinking 45 as a final target, but just to keep things safe and secure, I went for a 32 exit on it. So I will show you the journal entry on that trade, which I didn't record that one, and it's not one that I really want to, this isn't the kind of thing I want to be teaching or showing you guys, because I really do think that picking bottoms is kind of a loser's game. I really do. I typically never do this, but I just had a feeling. My feeling was right. It had a double bottom there. I decided to scoop it up, and again, the entry was 713. I said the stop was 705, which is 8-cent risk, but I think that there's a good chance that if it put a lower high in here and broke, I probably would have sold it at 710 or 709 for like a 4-cent loss. So I was really keeping the risk super tight on it, and I just had a good feeling about it, and the feeling was right. So I was okay to make a little bit on that one. Sold at 721, 728, and 732. Again, this is not something you're going to find in our video lesson library. It's not something I'm going to promote or do very often, but it was kind of a slower, aside from, that long setup, it was a little bit of a slower afternoon, so I'm glad I could get 2 trades in there. Both winners for the group, and that's where my day landed, guys. So 2 trades, 2 winners. Aside from, man, in chat, you guys crushed. I mean, we had, Trade Addict, Penny Flipper, Eli. These guys were all over AMD short really early today and riding it out. So, a very, very nice liquid play. I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in this one myself, but I love the diversity in the group and the participation and teamwork in chat, guys. So please keep it up. And congratulations on all the nice ideas out there today. For tomorrow, let's keep an eye on, I'll probably watch AUPH a bit tomorrow, but CDXC, we've got some research on the go with Drew, and we got some potential ideas in this one tomorrow that we'll go over in the morning. Closed strong today, so I'm definitely interested in this one tomorrow morning, guys. So I'll have this webinar posted in the members portal for you guys tonight when I get back from the gym, and I'll post up the AUPH trade as well in case you guys want to watch it again. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great night.